Hey, I'm Pastor Caleb Schrader, and we are continuing our podcast where we talk about the art installation for Love Incarnate. And I'm here with Hannah and Elisabeth Macy, and we're talking about their work on our stained glass piece that's sitting on our stage that you've been seeing for the last couple of weeks on Sunday mornings. And so I want to talk to them a little bit. We've talked about some of the behind the scenes with coming up with the panels, putting that all together. We've talked with AJ and we've talked with Jen about that. But what was it like for you working with a medium you've never worked with before, trying to represent something in stained glass, which isn't something that you've done before? Mm-hmm. So how did you come up with your idea working in that medium?
It was very challenging, honestly. It was very stretching for me. We discussed lots of ideas.
Yeah.
Mostly the two of us. We brought in our sisters too and our mom. But it was mostly just the two of us.
We did lots of little thumbnail sketches, trying to weed out some ideas. Like, no, that's not going to portray properly. So,
yeah. So, because we wanted it to look more stained glass style, we very much AJ had encouraged us to look up different pieces, traditional stained glass windows and things like that. Very quickly, we decided we liked the light coming down. We wanted to put that in there. But honestly, we didn't really know what we were doing with the paint, with any of the materials. AJ and Jen did a lot of experimenting with that and kind of told us this is what's going to work. We've got this, and it looks like it's going to come together well. So it was a little stressful not knowing exactly what we were doing with that, but it came together.
So they were sort of pioneers, went out in front of you.
Definitely.
So what are some of the things that are unique when you're trying to make something look like stained glass as compared to just how you would usually paint?
Definitely breaking things up into shapes, having solid shapes. You aren't doing the subtle changes in shades and values. You have the hard lines around things. It's much more design work than our normal style of art.
Yeah.
Thinking in solid shapes, solid colors is a little bit different for me.
So now let's talk a little bit about the piece itself and the message behind it. So the piece that's on the stage right now has a baby in a book. You have light. Describe to me what these symbols represent.
So the concept we were given to design was the Word became flesh to fulfill the Word, which was challenging to come up with how to portray that at first. We were trying to be very creative, think outside the box, and
we knew Jen was doing more of a nativity scene, so we didn't want to just recreate that again. So we had to do something different. So
in the end, we ended up going with something a little bit more of a simple design and straightforward. An open book representing the Word, and then a baby, him becoming flesh. We wanted the light coming down because he came down from heaven to earth. So, symbolic of him leaving his heavenly kingdom and coming down here. We incorporated a few buildings in there, just in the background. We wanted that to show, he came and he dwelt here with us. He lived here with us. He didn't just come for a short visit, but he was actually here with us. And then he's looking towards the cross. And we don't normally portray baby Jesus with the cross in the same piece of art, but we felt it was important to show this was his path here on earth. He was heading towards the cross the entire time. So I think those were the aspects we really wanted to incorporate into this. And then the side panels, which AJ and Jen have both talked about with theirs, we wanted symbolic, we wanted things that would symbolize different names of Jesus and who he was, and why he came to earth, what he came to fulfill.
Yeah. One of the things I love about having the stained glass up on the stage is it's giving people things to look at and to meditate on while they're hearing the sermons preached. And I've been able to do that because I've been preaching every week. And I love the image of it almost looks like the baby's coming out of the book, right? Like God spoke and everything came to be, and Jesus became a part of that spoken creation, which just blows your mind because he's always been, but as a man of flesh, he came to be. And just
Yeah.
like, just meditating on that reality that he's the second Adam from above, that he embodies everything that the word said a man should be. He was in imperfection. So I love that you guys are using what you've been given to glorify God. I think that the skills that you guys have, you lay those at the feet of Jesus, and it's really seen in all the hours that go into these works. It's a labor of love. Just off the top of your head, how many hours would you guys estimate you had to put into just that piece?
I don't even know.
I have no idea.
You try
I
not to
mean,
keep track?
I know just the painting part of it, it was over 2 days of being at the Corrados, working on,
For
filling those
hours.
in hours at a time. But the design work, just talking back and forth about what we wanted to portray in that, I don't even know how many hours. It was a lot of time.
Yeah. One of the things I love about that creative aspect is you're actually meditating on spiritual truth. You know, as you think about how do I depict this, you're thinking about what's true. And that's what worship does. Like, that's what Jesus says when he meets the woman at the well. He says, the hour is coming and now is when true worshipers will worship me in spirit and in truth. And so you're asking God to inspire you in spirit, but you want it to communicate something that is true. And I love how you guys present art that communicates a true message, especially in a postmodern context. Because art today is about telling lies, and it wants to mar what's truth, and you guys want to present what's true. So I really appreciate how that's presented in this art piece, but also in other art pieces I've seen you guys do. It worships God when you communicate true things about the world. So thank you guys so much for contributing and sharing with us a little bit about the idea behind the piece, so that as we meditate on it, we know where your hearts were as you put it together. Thank you so much. And thank you for listening. God bless.